Good evening, and welcome to our annual spring concert. My name is Betsy Fuchs, and I am co-president of the Jamestown High School Band. I would like to introduce the narrator of this evening's concert, Mr. Joseph DeSois, freelance photographer from New York City.
It is a privilege to be a narrator for this evening's performance. This is a new experience for me, and I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. The group now on stage is the Symphonic Band. This group is one of two performing bands here at Jamestown High School. Membership in this group is from grades 9 through 12. The first selection they performed was the Fairest of the Fair March. They will now perform music from the movie Forrest Gump. Please welcome Mr. Matthew Cobb.
For tackling the guy, yanking him off the stage. It's my pleasure at this point in the evening to present our annual Hall of Fame Award. And if you'll look at the bottom of the back page of your program, you'll see the prestigious list of people that have received this award in prior years. The list is growing longer, and the names are certainly deserving of that honor. Tonight is no exception, and we've waited a long time to present this award this evening. And a bit of note, the award, Hall of Fame Award, is sort of the blood, guts, money, donation, time, effort. They'll do just about anything for the kids in this band and have sacrificed a significant amount. And it's usually members of the community. Yeah, I think it was 1982. I got a phone call the day before the band was to leave for the Festival of States, which are our first national competition in many, many years in Florida. In fact, it was about 50 years since we had gone to a national level competition. And the person on the other end of the phone was a good friend of mine, Carl, and he says, there's this guy, and he wants to light the way of the band out of the city at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was March, and it was snowing, and 6 below zero. Do you mind? I said, well, if somebody wants to light the band's way out of the city at 6 o'clock in the morning, well, God bless them, and we'll be sure to look. Well, he wants to make sure that the kids all do, because it's going to be right by the cemetery. Now, lights at 6 o'clock in the morning right by the cemetery is a scary enough thought in itself. But to think that someone would go to the effort and the extent of renting spotlights and finding electrical current on the outside gate of the cemetery at 6 o'clock in the morning is just unimaginable to someone like me. So there we were departing Jamestown, and sure enough, there he was, and with his spotlights and an entourage of people, and lighting up the signs, good luck JHS Band in Florida, so on and so forth. And it was a real thrill for the kids at the time. So when we got back, Carl Villo pulled me aside one day and said, that guy was a guy by the name of Bill Stevenson. I don't know who Bill Stevenson is. He's just a guy who used to play drums in a country western band. He works for the phone company, and he kind of likes this stuff. So he's kind of wondering if maybe he could come by and help out. And I said, well, sure. We always use an extra hand. So he kind of showed up. That was the beginning of what we affectionately now call the crew. The crew is a group of people from the community. And to be specific, I'll tell you their aspirations and occupations. There's the chief of police, an assistant superintendent retired of schools, a custodian, an accountant, a comptroller, a telephone employee, an electric worker, and a police officer that have contributed their time and money and effort over the years for the kids of the band. Willy Wonka has a saying in the movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, that says, "We are the music makers, we are the dreamers of dreams." Whatever we've dreamed up as a music staff for the marching band over the past 14 years, the crew made it possible. We would show up at rehearsal and say, guys, we would like to do like this with an elephant, and then somebody, the drum major, jump off the elephant, and we'd show up at the next practice, there would be the elephant parked at the field waiting for the drum major. It got to the point where the requests got so ridiculous, we just started making stuff up just to see how far these guys would go. Needless to say, we haven't reached the limit yet. Now, don't start feeling sorry for these guys. There's a lot of fringe benefits to what they do. I mean, these guys have picked up raincoats on Broadway in New York City. They've marched arm in arm with Mickey and Minnie Mouse and Pluto in Disney World and Disneyland. They've bought donuts in Pasadena, California. And these guys have laid in the sun on a beach of some uncharted desert island somewhere in the Bahamas. So they have benefited a great deal as well. I was thinking about how I wanted to introduce them before I bring them up here. And I guess I want to say that these guys love life. They really like each other a great deal most of the time. They love this band and this school. They love these kids beyond compare. And they are all loved by us in return. I don't think they're all here this evening, but as I call their names, I want them all to come up here, as they are the recipient of the 1996 Hall of Fame Award. Would you hold your applause so they all get up here? Dan Nelson, Tim Smeraldo, George Pike, Bill Stevenson, Tom O'Brien, Michael Benson, William McLaughlin, and Don Pooter. Guys, the crew. when someone's applauding, they take their time. I'd like to read what the award says. For your years of dedicated service to the members of the Jamestown High School Marching Band, May 4th, 1996. And here's the guy with the spotlight. Mr. Stevenson, if you'd like to say words on behalf of all the guys there.
Talk about putting the spot on me. I feel it right now. I'll tell you the truth, in all these, I think it's 15 years really, it's been a great honor to serve the band, and I'll tell you, I can speak for all my fellow comrades here, that we've never met a bad student or never been shown disrespect, and these are the greatest bunch of kids, and I just can't tell you how proud we are to come along and to help them and help Mr. Deppis and his staff, and it's been a real honor to participate with this group of kids. Thank you.
Our next selection, while they're finding their seats, is the Vincent Persichetti Symphony for Band, and it's in 2 movements, and I want to remind you that it's appropriate not to applaud in between each movement. This is a grade 6 NISMA selection, and it is probably one of the most difficult ones we've attempted in the last 4 or 5 years. In addition to that, it's a very contemporary piece, and I say that tongue-in-cheek as this piece is written over 30 years ago. So we'd like to present for you now the Vincent Persichetti Symphony for Band.
and in Syracuse at the state competition, and here in Jamestown last October. There are others of you who are probably wondering, who is this guy? And why is he here? Well, here I am. Well, this started actually about 5 years ago when I was casually photographing marching bands and parades in New York City and other communities across the country. Last summer, I got the idea to focus on a specific band for the Thanksgiving Day parade. So I called the publicity department at Macy's. Now, every year, Macy's receives over 300 applications from bands across the country. Out of that 300, they select only 12 to appear in their parade. I explained to the publicity department what my project was all about, what I was after, and I told them I wanted the most outstanding band in the parade. They told me that the perfect band for me was the high school band from Jamestown, New York. Perfect is an understatement. So they gave me Lou Deppis' name and number. I called him not having any idea what to expect, and now, here I am today, 8 months and a few thousand photos later, the narrator for this year's spring concert. Well, the enthusiastic welcome and friendliness I have received from Lou, his fellow teachers, the kids and members of the community far surpasses anything I could have ever anticipated when I placed that call to Lou last September. From my first visit, what has impressed me the most is the tremendous dedication on the part of all of those involved in making the band work and the self-discipline of the students. I even had an experience of riding in the bus back from Orchard Park with the crew. Before they let me on the bus, they said, anything you overhear on this bus is you are sworn to secrecy. What an experience. Don't worry, guys, my lips are sealed, I promise. So, last October, when I went to Orchard Park for that competition, and then later on the way to the Carrier Dome for the state competition in Syracuse, I had the opportunity to ride on the buses with the students. So some of you may know that there's a tradition with the band that approximately 10 minutes before arriving at a competition site, the student bus captain asks for complete silence. This is to give every person the opportunity to contemplate and focus on their role and responsibilities for a successful performance. To say the least, I was really impressed. After all, how often do you ever see or hear a group of teenagers actually keeping quiet, let alone a bus of them? This ability to quiet and steady the mind, meditation really, is such a great gift. It is a practice of discipline that makes everyone stronger and in no way diminishes or hinders the individual, but rather sets each person free to experience their own best self. So since I began this project, people invariably ask me, why am I doing this? What's my fascination with bands? Well, I did play the flute in my high school band in Denver. We did basically concerts and football games. I only got the opportunity to march in one parade, but that was with my piccolo. Since then, I've marched in several, but this time with my cameras and taking photos. And I do come from a somewhat musical family. My father played the flute and saxophone at the University of Denver, and was in the Denver Symphony Orchestra for a time. And my grandfather played violin, English horn, and oboe professionally all his life. When I told my father, who was now 86, that I would be coming to Jamestown for this concert, I asked him if he had any old band stories. Without missing a beat, he said, "Tell him to keep the hot dogs out of the tubas." Oh, Dad, 86, you know. So, hot dogs, what's that all about? Well, it seems that once during a football game at the University of Denver, the tuba player suddenly couldn't get a decent note out of his horn. So he turned it upside down and, you guessed it, out came some hot dogs. Which apparently had been some pranksters that tossed into the bell of the tuba. Don't anybody get any ideas with this band, okay? So my attraction to marching bands is somewhat hereditary, but what really grabs me, what really pulls me in, is the tremendous energy that surrounds these bands. I can think of only one word that truly describes this feeling, and it comes from the ancient Sanskrit language. This word is Shakti. Shakti literally means divine energy. It is this energy, this Shakti of the band that thrills and inspires me. It is from this Shakti that I got connected through Macy's to this band in Jamestown, and not to one in California or Texas. It is this Shakti which unites all of the students, from the uncoordinated kids tripping over each other while learning their competition steps in the brutal August sun, into a powerfully cohesive musical group for the state championship in November. It is the same Shakti which unites the entire community to support the band. It is this Shakti which has brought all of us together here tonight to celebrate and honor all of these magnificent and exceptional young men and women. And it is this Shakti which pays tribute to the parents, the families, the school, the teachers, and the community. Finally, it is the Shakti that inspires the music and the musician in all of us. So often from the media and politicians, we are bombarded with cynical and negative images of America, our families, and schools. Well, these cynics should all come to Jamestown to hear this band and to march in the parade. It is with the greatest respect and admiration that I am here with all of you tonight. I am truly honored to have been part of this evening's concert. And please, 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 no hot dogs in the tubas, please. On with the show. Our next performant is our second winner of the Student Concerto Competition for the Spring Concert. He is a senior and is the son of Chris and Dale Humphrey. He has participated in every instrumental music group at Jamestown High School and will join the Marine Corps this fall as a musician. It is our pleasure to welcome Mr. David Tyler.
What a great job, huh? I mean me, what a great job. Can you imagine, you don't have one but two that do that in the same night, and then Melissa at the last concert, and not to speak of the kids that tried out and didn't get selected, and year after year they do it. It's just unbelievable. Thanks. I want to acknowledge some people because they make it look real simple for me. So I just come out and break a little sweat and everything goes really well every year and every concert. We have our symphonic band in the balcony and gym. If you would turn the house lights up a little bit so that you can see them as well. First of all, I want all the students that are in the symphonic band and the concert band, if you are a member of All-State this year, now All-State means they were selected to be representative of the entire state, to stand at this point. You can stand and remain standing, and you'll see that that's pretty tough. Now, Section 6 has an all-star band, so to speak. If you were selected for sectional All-State, I want you to also stand at this particular point in time. And we have All-County, which is the highlight all-star of the county. So if you were selected for All-County for this year, at this point in time, would you all please stand? And you can acknowledge them all now. Says a lot about our talent. Also, this year is a second in a lifetime experience for me. I thought I'd pretty much seen it all way back in 1989 when we had a trombone player, Matt Knight, selected for the McDonald's All-American High School Band. They select 2 kids, seniors from each state in the country, and they put together a 104-piece marching band, and it appears in the Rose Bowl Parade, and Macy's Parade, and things like that. And we had Matt Knight selected, and that's sort of a career thing for a band director. This year, however, and she's right behind me, this is even more unusual because she's just a junior. The MENC, which is the Music Educators National Conference. Now, appreciate this is a conference of music educators, all the music teachers in the country, has a conference every 2 years. And at this conference, they select an all-USA orchestra. So in order for you to be nominated for or to apply, first you have to get a 100 on your solo rating in the spring. Lots of our students do that. Secondly, you have to be first chair in your section at the All-State Band. And this student, by audition, when she got there this year, she did that. Then at that point in time, you're invited to apply, okay? Once you apply, they send you a kit, at which point you have to prepare a taped audition. And then they send the tape audition to a panel of national music educators, and they select this orchestra. So you can assume an orchestra is smaller than a band, and as far as instruments are concerned, there are only 4 trombones in an orchestra. So for a student to be selected for this group, you would have to be one of the best 10 flute players in the country, one of the best 4 tubists in the country, one of the 4 best trombonists in the country. And this year, Jamestown High School's band was honored by the selection of a junior in our band for this National MENC Orchestra. And I'd like to acknowledge her now because this is an honor beyond compare. She is Carrie Powalski. You all know this concert always runs longer than you really want it to. And it's always hotter than we really want it to be. But we only get to do it twice a year, so indulge us, please. Especially right now, because this, of course, is the last performance in a concert setting for the seniors in this particular organization. And if you've been coming to these concerts, you've heard every adjective, adverb that I can possibly conjure up to describe these kids. But as I told them tonight, this senior class is just a little special. These are kids that are conscious of their past, aware of the present, and have a direction for the future. And it's been a real pleasure to be around them this year. It's been a fun year. Preparing for this concert has been a real thrill. However, behind every good senior, you'll find at least one, if not two, parents that are extremely supportive. And only the people that do this understand what I'm talking about when I say to you, you have no idea of the sacrifice, the dedication, and the self-discipline on the part of both the students and their families with regards to participating in an activity of this kind. It takes money, it takes time, it takes unquestioning support. All of the seniors and their parents deserve my great admiration and respect, your applause. So at this time, first the seniors, please stand, all the seniors. And this always gets a little moved because they say, oh God, how's he going to do this next year with all these kids gone? I don't know yet. I'll let you know. And if you have a student parents on stage, proudly please, would you all stand as well, parents, because you deserve this round of applause as well. Last but not least, of course, we want to thank Joe, who's taken really about 10,000 photos so far. And no, Joe, we don't put any hot dogs in the tubas here at Jamestown High School. And the other people, the unsung heroes, the teachers at Jamestown High School, the administration, Board of Education, Mr. King, my friend and colleague, Dr. Janita Byers, who supports this program. Also, the colleagues in the music department, and especially in the instrumental department, Mr. Ventura, Mr. Griffa and Kakanya, and Ms. Harp at the middle schools, and Mr. Griffa was just honored with the Outstanding Music Educator Award in Chautauqua County, which Ms. Harp received last year, so we're glad to keep that in the family. And the guy who makes it fun for me to come to work every day, my good friend, Mr. Lydell. I couldn't do it with those people, and they keep me on track and help me do this job, which is a real joy and a pleasure for me to do. Before we perform our last selection, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy, I'd like to thank you all for coming this evening, and I want to remind you that Tuesday is the election for the Board of Education. What's important is that you all go and vote. Express your opinion, get involved. This program doesn't run on air. It needs your help. Okay. You know, I know one of these years they're going to come out with one of those little cans of hairspray thing that Ronco guy, and they're just going to, right from behind him, standing there.
Mr. Davis, we have been the first group of musicians to watch you not only as a band director, but also as a father throughout all 4 of our high school years.
Through this, you have been a temporary father to us, as well as your little girls, Bryn and Morgan. To thank you, the band has purchased safety bags for each of them. Thanks so very much for all of your thought and everything that you've taught to us, and the confidence you have instilled in us.
We hope that your daughters grow with you as much admiration, as we have.
Thank you very much. I'm really, for all of you guys up there too, and here I'm really humbled by that. For years I keep telling them, please, 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 don't buy me any more gifts. Finally, they listened to me. That's wonderful. I do want to say one more thing and then we'll play for you. Most high schools in the United States would be thrilled to have that symphonic band as the best band in their high school. We have it here. the socks off of it tonight. I don't want them to think that we're not appreciative of their efforts as well as we are the wonderful kids up here. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoy the next lecture. Thank you.